this now. Okay, there we go. Right, let's get into the market, shall we? Let's get into the market. So SPX, what's it doing right now? It's kind of hard to tell. We are in this zone where we had a slight pullback to that 20 yesterday. I am still expecting this market to potentially come down to these lows, but it's difficult. I have to say it's difficult right now. It certainly is risk off, right? We have to say it's risk off because we're not getting any indication yet that oh, everybody just come on. Morning, James. Morning, Silver. Morning, Clarence. Morning, Abdullah. But I've not got any indication this is changing trend just yet. Now, there's different schools of thought. I put one out in the live stream chat this morning where an analysis from Citigroup was saying that everything is priced in. I did agree with that up until the last few days. I did think this on the weekly chart was good, and it still can be, you know, depending on how this week closes. We could get a slight pullback before continuation. Remember, we have had a decent drop. You know, you think about the COVID drop here, we still have had a decent drop. So I maybe have to get that bias out of my head because depending on what happens today and tomorrow, you know, we haven't really tested this area just yet. You probably expect it to test this and then then possibly let the market decide what it wants to do. You know, I wouldn't discount this either for continuation to the downside. As I said, bias right now is down despite what we see on the weekly. It does look like there's certainly bearish momentum there. You know, until we break this anchor, that has got to be our continued bias where it is risk off. So the idea of buying the yen and the Swiss and the dollar makes sense. But, you know, I don't know if our risk sentiment is really matching up with the currency pairs right now. I don't know whether you guys agree with me, but with the setups we're getting, doesn't quite match this risk sentiment. So, you know, the last time we saw this was the opposite side. I remember seeing it. It wasn't really prior to the Ukraine, but it was certainly prior to COVID when we had markets moving up, but we had that yen, the Swiss and the dollar strong, or not the dollar, sorry, the yen and the Swiss strong, albeit this market was still pushing, and then we had that large drop because of COVID. I don't know whether we're getting something similar to that. Possibly we are, but we've got to continue with more risk off, but potentially waiting for that confirmation of a break underneath here or a possible break above this anchor. So in my risk sentiment, I have gone neutral, probably a little bit more risk off, but let's wait for that confirmation of anchor breaks or really support breaks, because I do think if we fall below here, it could be quite bad for the markets. We could see, in terms of uncertainty, in terms of panic, selling setting in, we certainly could get that. So let's wait and see on the SPX. I will kind of sit myself a bit more on the fence, but you know, a little bit of a push here. There is an option as well of this, you know, potentially here, but I don't particularly like this bar to come back down for a breakout retest. But you know, depending on how London opens, London and US, I don't normally like to take our real gauge from the Asian session. But yeah, let's wait and see. I mean, maybe this as well. Potentially head and shoulders here. Breakout retest, movement to the downside may not actually be a bad trade if that comes to fruition, which it won't come today, potentially tomorrow. But yeah, let's wait and see. Let's wait and see of that real confirmation. It's hard to predict. Right now, it's hard to predict. And sometimes it's hard to predict. I think the best thing to do is just wait. Just wait. We got plenty of times on our hands to make plenty of money. We don't have to do it all the time. Okay, dollar. Dollar, we're getting that 20-period catch-up. I don't really like this pullback. I mean, we could be looking at a slight wedging structure here. The power of the trend is to the upside. The daily. I mean, are we getting some hanging men here on the daily? Or hanging men patterns or kind of hammers that look like this, sometimes indicating this movement to the upside is finished for a possible pullback. We do have a massive extension on this daily from that 20. So albeit we've pulled back to the 20 and the 4 hour, I know we've had this bullish bar here, right? This bullish bar here. I don't think it's enough yet. I don't think it's enough yet for continuation in that dollar. I'd just be a little bit worried you know, with where this daily is, do we need a deeper corrective from this move? Like we said, we know what's happening. Like, this is just from a trading perspective, not from an ethical perspective. We know what's happening. People know what's happening in Russia and Ukraine right now. So is that priced in? Are we settling down a little bit after the massive reaction? You know, again, this is not from an ethical standpoint. This is just from a trading standpoint, where we need to kind of pull back and get that healthy trend before continuation. So with this dollar, if we get a you know, something over London that says, right, this 20-period pullback is enough for us for continuation of that trend in the dollar, then okay, I don't think that would be a bad bet. I just think it needs a wee bit more. Certainly from that daily chart, we have moved quite extensively. We have moved quite nicely. We are a little bit climactic on the daily. So I would be waiting for a deeper pullback, really, unless London or US today gives us something around this 20 that says, no, we want to continue with this dollar strength. We're going out with the technicals here, and dollar continues to rise. But overall bias would be dollar up, obviously. Overall bias would be a dollar up. Dollar strength, let's have a look. It's not something that I would, I don't actually, Martin. I don't, you know, for me, going back to 2020 is enough, really. I mean, even that weekly has moved quite nicely, right? The push. I mean, it's going out with technicals. I still don't like the chart. I don't like it. So from my mind, in terms of a DXY, in terms of dollar setups, I would just be wary that it needs a deeper pullback on that daily. That's what I'll say. That's what I think. Morning, Audrey. Morning, Audrey. Morning, Ash. Morning, Aaron. Good to see you guys here. Okay, setups today. Setups today. I'll go to my watch list. Quite a few more potential breakout retests, which is nice. At least I've got something to talk about. I'll go into Litecoin first. I wasn't really expecting this push, to be honest with you. And if you remember our last Litecoin trade, we had a few crypto decent ones that won, but it was very similar to this. If you remember, I remember. I always kind of remember these things. You know, when I was looking at the chart here, I was thinking, again, this is before I went to bed, before this 4-hour close, thinking this looks really nice. And then we flipped over Asia, and now we're pushing on. So I didn't expect that. I still don't buy it, right? I don't buy this push in crypto. I don't know whether we're pushing up to potentially be sold into in terms of the news that's coming out, in, you know, for regulation. Now, the other way of thinking it is, you know, crypto is essentially power to the people, right? Are they buying it to kind of spite Biden and what potentially might come out today? I don't really know. From a daily perspective, we've got to wait for this daily to close. We could get a massive rejection here, i.e. if Biden comes out with something the market doesn't like, this can certainly fall very quickly. So I'd like to be in this trade. Obviously, I'm not gonna touch it. You know, I don't want us to be stopped out and then it comes back. I'm just wanting to be in while that news comes out, because potentially we could see a sharp fall off or a massive push, right? So I just want to be in for the news. Whatever's happening now, the stop is still quite extensive. But yeah, I have to say I'm not really buying this push in crypto right now, but who knows? Who knows what can happen at this point in time? Yeah, I like to use COVID as our last reference point. Yeah, it's probably the other thing we can as traders. Well, I mean, I remember the Trump era and all that kind of stuff, but the kind of to compare it to with what's happening now in terms of complete panic in the market, you know. So yeah, it's hard. I mean, it's just hard, Martin. You know, it's just hard. I want to sit here and say I know what's happening because, you know, I don't. In some respects, I don't really care. Because, you know, I know when I wake up in the morning and I'm feeling the market, and you guys are probably the same, like I feel it, and when I take a trade, I feel like I'm going to win. Right now, I'm not really in that position, which is a shame because I've now got, you know, to be fair, I've got another month before my verification is finished, but there's nothing wrong with saying I don't really know what's happening. I'm happy to spend my time on the sidelines. Remember, again, a famous quote is, the market can stay irrational longer than you can remain solvent, right? So that's a very something to put in your head, and that's absolutely true for me. We don't have to know what's going on. We just have to realize that sometimes things aren't working rationally, and certainly right now with what's happening in the world, you probably expect that. But in terms of crypto, I mean, maybe from a technical perspective, we could be seeing this, maybe, for a break to the upside. But let's wait and see. Let's wait and see. The trade's in. Can't do anything about it now. Well, if it wins, it wins. If it loses, it loses. Okay, setups today. My favorite on the basket would be pound Swiss, I think. Pound Swiss is looking okay from a 30-minute point of view. We have our cut with handle, V reversal here, pull back into this area, looking for a breakout retest above that 200, above that 20. Okay, higher time frame confidence could be better, but we do have some confidence with this price action here. If I zoom in, right, our it's not a morning star, but we certainly got some bullish bars here. Our inverted hanging man at this side from a decent push to the downside, slight 20 extension. If you look at the 4-hour chart, we're getting some outside bullish engulfers here. We're now above this 20, but it is counter trend, you know, and we could be looking at here another retest of this area for a potential ABC continuation. So the context is good. The higher time frames is okay, but not great. And it's probably the best of a bad bunch, really. So looking for a breakout retest. Again, visualizing what this 4 hour is going to look like if we do break and close above this area. And this is what I mean about break and retest, because if we're taking a breakout, excuse me, if we're taking a breakout in the 30-minute chart here, you could get that C wave where it comes back down, stops you out in the breakout, and continues to the downside. However, if we break out and close, this will look a lot different from our potential ABC, right? Because we break out this area and we close above this area. So again, shifts that dynamic, and you kind of visualize what candles are going to look like on that break. Again, it doesn't go with the risk sentiment at all. But, you know, for counter trade, let's see. EURUSD, USD ZAR has broken through now. I was looking at a break of this level. We've gotten that break. Hopefully this doesn't move without us. I think it's best to see this on the 30-minute chart, actually. Here. No. Where was I looking mainly? Looking at this again, it's a little bit messy, actually. We probably wanted a retest here back to the 20. It's kind of gone now. You know, that I was looking kind of really at this head and shoulders into that area, gap down, probably retest here for movement to the downside. We've not really got that, so I'm going to take that off EURUSD now that I'm looking at it again. I do like where it is. You know, I like the higher time frames, absolutely ready to move. I do think so. Crossing underneath this 20, crossing underneath this 200. You know, maybe we get a setup here, but yeah, I'm going to take that off for now. USD ZAR. Kiwi Dollar, another decent one actually. Depending on what happens with this dollar, well, this is probably gone as well, unfortunately. Yeah, I think this is gone. It was here when I was doing the scan, looking for a breakout retest, but this push on, unless it resets up with that potential dollar weakness coming in, SPX slightly moving to the upside, unless it gives us something like this for a breakout retest, I've got to take that off again. Oh well, Kiwi Dollar, Aussie Yen. Aussie Yen potential longs as a counter trend trade. Here breaking through. This one's okay. This one's all right. From here, ABC, push on. The issue is obviously this, our 200. If we go up in tag, have we gone too far for a retest? Potentially. If we come back here, are we going to get 1-to-1 before that 200? I'm not really sure. But that's essentially what I'm looking for Aussie Yen. Again, it's not perfect. 4 hours not perfect. Is this too impulsive to the downside? Potentially. And on our daily, are we getting a potential ABC here? Right, breaking out from our V reversal. Is this enough from this impulse? Doesn't quite look at it. Doesn't quite look like it. You know, do we have to get this on that 20 for continuation? Possibly. So like I said, these setups are kind of the best of a bad bunch, really. But I'm going to continue to watch it. The 1 hour is okay. We've got those moving averages underneath. It does look a little bit better on these smaller time frames. But higher time frame confluence, I mean, it doesn't have to go for an ABC. It doesn't have to go for an ABC. This could be a retest. Remember, it doesn't always happen. But we need something to get us in. And we do have a breaker structure here. I don't particularly like this. Do I like the idea of buying the Aussie yen? I mean, I'm kind of talking myself out of all these setups really right now. But let's see how it goes. Maybe we get a tag on the 200 pullback. Let's see. Aussie yen potential longs. CAD Swiss I like though. CAD Swiss. I know it's CAD, but it still looks okay. Bigger V reversal here. Big V reversal coming into a potential complex corrective. Something like this, breakout retest to move to the downside. This one does have higher time frame confluence, absolutely. We look at this daily chart, I mean, underneath that 20, wicks to the upside. We did take an aggressive entry, I think, somewhere up here, which was quite good. But all these pushes are being sold into, right? Big wick down there, another rejection on that 20 yesterday. So CAD Swiss is probably the best, even though it's the CAD. Potential here for a 4-hour breakout as well, or a possible aggressive entry. For a breakout to the downside. But I don't know, let's see, CAD Swiss. And the last one, I think, is USD JPY. USD yen. On this daily chart. Okay, it's been ranging for quite some time. We still have this. It needs to push on really now. So we need to get a tag today, then a slight bit of accumulation for a breakout to the upside. We don't really want this, as I said, we don't want this to range longer than our basing structure. Potentially, if it does, we can look from here. Okay, are we getting our cup with handle here? That would still be okay for me. But USD yen, I do like that. I do like that to the upside. Certainly, if we decide to push on in the markets, I just like it. We're trying to push down here. We've not managed to do that. We're getting a slight breakout of B wave here. On this 4-hour, I was looking at a breakout as well. Didn't quite come. But I like the area. I do like the area. So, yeah, I mean, it depends on what happens on that daily. Again, another trade that's going to take some time to set up. So really, it's slim pickings, guys, for me personally. It's slim pickings. What do I like the best out of this one? USD ZAR, no. Kiwi dollar is gone. Aussie yen, not massive higher time frames. CAD Swiss is probably the best, but it's the CAD. Pound Swiss is okay. Pound Swiss is probably my favorite. But it just, I mean, we don't really have volume coming in. I mean, we've got some volume on this bar. This stagnating bar here, which is okay. Some volume coming in here. It's not quite in a morning star. We're pushing on. We do need a pullback. We are at this support zone. What is getting us in? I'm going through my head right now. What's getting us in here on the 4-hour? It's probably the fact that, the price action doesn't look very nice for continuation. But we know what kind of market we're in. Maybe it's this. But maybe then I'm also trying to put something in my head to allow me to take the trade. I'm trying to find reasons when maybe there's not one there, because it's been boring and I'm trying to find a trade. So I've also got to realize that am I doing that here? But we do have a big bar here and outside bullish and go for a slight fake out as well, right? Slight fake out to the downside. Retail stopped out. Outside bullish and gold for here, above that 20, like I said. If we fib it, we fib this one from this impulse. Tag that 38.2. But if we do break above here, be above resistance as well. Yeah, that's probably my favorite on the basket. Let's wait and see what it does. Pound Swiss to the upside is one that we can make a best case scenario for. But let's see. Again, just doesn't This doesn't go with risk sentiment. It doesn't. So, anyway. I don't know about you guys. Let me know if you guys like this. I was speaking to Andy the other day, and Andy was like, I love these conditions. You know, this is where his strategy does work really well. And I'm like, well, this strategy, this times of the market is like, I'm very quiet. And he's like, yeah, well, in January when it was flowing, it wasn't as good for him. So it's funny how in different scenarios, people love and people don't like. Now, the other thing you can say was, well, Ryan, why don't you have a strategy that works in these conditions and another strategy that works in flowing conditions? The reason is, and I have thought about that and as I've gone through, the reason being is, how do you find when to differentiate between the two, right? Do you run them at the same time in terms of like a hedge play? I don't know if something that I would like to do. Again, do I really resonate with another strategy because I like the way that I trade? Probably not. It's just one of those things that I think for me personally, I'm happy with the way that I'm trading. I'd rather stay away and come back when I feel more comfortable, or take trades when I feel more comfortable. They might be more selective as always, but I don't think I could transition between the two, because how do you transition to when you stop one and you start the other, you know? So, because you might stop one, lose your first trade, and didn't take your previous strategy trade that won, again, fills in with that emotions, etc., etc., etc. So, anyway. Okay, let's go through some question you guys have. I'm long on UJ right now. On the 1 hour, glad to hear you like it to the upside. Yeah, I do like it. I do like it to the upside, Martin. On the 1 hour, I presume from here, right? From this V reversal, am I correct in saying that? There, stop there maybe? Or 3-bar confirmation. But I presume that's where you're long, Martin, right? Yeah. See, I know how you trade, mate. I mean, you could look on the 4 hour as well, Martin, if you like it. I mean, I couldn't do that because it's too extended. But again, it's not about how I trade. It's about how you trade. And if you're looking for your 3-bar pullback, I mean, you could get a double confirmation on that entry. I would just worry about it coming back down, but, you know, I'm going to say the same thing to you every time. But if you've got a strategy that works, then perfect. But I do like it to the upside. If you take a look at gold when you have a chance, of course, Abdullah, gold. Gold is absolutely motoring, as well as oil. Oil up at 122. Petrol's going to become more expensive. Let's have a look at oil, actually. I don't know if any of you guys got in on this, but yeah, haven't seen that for quite some time. A good time to be in the oil and gas industry, I guess. Okay, gold. Gold's look, gold for me has made its move, right? I know, like from here, from all the way up here, do I want to be buying gold here? No, I just can't, I can't bring myself to buy something up here. I can't. You know, we're not getting massive volume at the top of structures. Does that mean it's over? No, I mean, gold could absolutely motor on and continue motor on. Like I said, I haven't had experience in times of war. So how out with they can go from technical analysis, we'll have to wait and see. I just wouldn't be comfortable buying it. You know, I think possibly we come back. I'd rather buy it on a pullback for continuation. Or if you're a counter trend trader, I don't recommend it. But you know, potential shorts on a reason to go short, which I don't think is given you just yet. 20 period catch up. I mean, yeah, I'd look to buy gold on a pullback. That's my personal opinion. I just don't like climactic moves like these that are unsustainable. And a lot of times, not including the political times that we're in right now, they're often liable to a snapback. We've seen it time and time again, creating that V reversal. So I don't know what you're thinking about, Abdullah, but I mean, what's this? Getting a little wedging structure in there, breaking through. Or that. I wouldn't be, yeah, basically my thoughts on it, Abdullah, is I wouldn't be buying it now. I'd be waiting for a deeper pullback. If Feels like buying GameStop at 500. Yeah, it's not something I can get involved in. You know, unfortunately, gold has been difficult to trade for quite some time. You know, it's very easy to say, oh, well, at the start of the tensions, why don't we buy gold? And that's, you know, doesn't make sense. I've actually got 5% of my holdings in gold anyway. So this is okay for me, but it's only 5%. But it's been hard to trade. I mean, where do you trade it? I mean, you could have traded, I guess, on a break of structure here, a break of structure there. Not for me personally. But yeah, right now, wait for a pullback and then buy into that trend, Abdullah. That would be my personal opinion. Just too extended, too climactic. Yeah. I think Omar had a few as well. I'm going to just go up. Omar, NZD USD, I talked about that. That's gone right now for me, Omar. Kiwi Yen. Kiwi Yen. Let's have a look at Kiwi Yen to the downside. Yeah, I didn't put this on my list. I had pound Swiss on my list that you put up. I can see what you're looking at here. I think it's gone now. I didn't like the levels. I don't think the levels were quite clean. You know, where are we looking at here? I just didn't like price action as much on New Zealand yen. The 4 hours a bit better digested from the move to the upside. So I don't like it as much, but it's obviously gone now because New Zealand's pushing on. So New Zealand yen I didn't like as much. And pound Swiss I did like. So pound Swiss I've got that. I do like that as well. Probably the best on the basket for now, to be honest. Anything else you guys want me to look at? Aussie dollar. Oh, it's tiny. Aussie dollar to the upside. Oh, it's tiny, John. I can't see it. Aussie dollar. Let's go to Aussie dollar. I mean, that would actually make sense to me. Aussie dollar to the upside. I presume you're obviously looking shorter term, right? It would make sense to me with the SPX having a slight push, with the dollar looking slight climactic. Not in terms of risk sentiment point of view. I presume you're probably looking on the 15-minute, right? Breaking from somewhere around here. Major anchor to trend at this area. If you're playing it up to there, then yeah, it would make sense. I just worry, I worry about the higher time frames here, I have to say. But I know you're looking shorter term, so in terms of what's happening right now, yeah, it would make sense to buy the Aussie dollar. Oh, here we go, sorry. Oh, you're doing it on the 4 hour. Okay, I get you. I get what you're doing. 15-minute. Where's your stop on the 4 hour? So this is an Andrew trade, right? That's an Andrew trade. Very deep pullback from, I presume you were looking around here. I mean, I don't know if it's an Andrew trade, by the way. I don't know whether he would take this or not. I'm just saying it's kind of similar in that vein, right? I just obviously, you know what I'm going to say, John? I don't like that. I would be looking at this from here. Potential movement again, back there with the confluence being these bars on the daily. Strong to the downside on Aussie dollar. But right now, yeah. Right now, yeah, maybe. It's just a hard market. It's just a hard market. How's your guys' trading been? Let me know. I generally like to know. Have you been making money right now? I know some of you are new. Have you been staying patient? What have you been doing at times like this? Do you think it's good conditions? Have you found anything looking at doing your morning scans? Do you think, well, maybe this could work in these conditions? Yeah, let me know. Can I share something that happened with me today? No, you cannot, Martin. No, you can't. Having dinner with friends, I was trying to explain them what a funded FTMO trader is, and my best friend says, it's like selling Tupperware. You have to have a strategy, be profitable, and if you do okay, you climb the ladder. It's like selling Tupperware. You have to have a strategy, be profitable, and if you do okay, you climb the ladder. I'm lost, Martin. I'm lost. I don't get it. Am I being stupid here? You have to have a strategy. Tupperware, like what you put food in, right? You put like your old food there. You have to have a strategy for profiting. Okay, you climb the ladder. FTMO Trader. I don't know, I'm lost. I'm lost, Martin. After a bad February, I'm last doing better. Good man. It's good to hear. Good to hear. Yeah, I mean, for me with the this FTMO, I've just got to be patient with it. You know, we may get, I don't want to say lucky. Lucky's a bad word, but if crypto, this push in crypto does get sold into on account of the regulations, it could end up being a good trade. I still, like I said, I've still got until the 9th of April, so essentially a month from now, 4 weeks of trading. And I only need one. You know, I just need one. The problem is there's no free repeats on verification. So I'm going to have to go for it one way or the other and get a bit of luck. Unfortunately, this all started when I started my verification, and I can't do anything about that. You know, I was even thinking about freezing for another week. But then I had a few things on the watch list, and I thought maybe we'll look at it. So let's see. All right. It was one of those you had to be there, right? I probably ruined your joke by not just understanding it. They basically recruit sellers, give them the product, and if you do, yeah, correct, yeah, correct. It's like, yeah, exactly, Martin, exactly. Sorry, mate, I wasn't following there. I'm obviously a bit slow this morning. I'll let you guys see a few guys typing. There's nothing else for me, guys. Like I said, the pick for me is pound Swiss today. Maybe Litecoin comes down. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe we don't get a trade. I think it's likely I don't get a trade either. But what can I say? I can't give you anything else. I wish it could be exciting every day, but it's just not. Just not. I'll just let you guys type. Good. I mean, this is still profitable on the free trial. Good, excellent to restart the 50K. Free trial to retest strategies. Great, good stuff. I mean, good things you can do now is backtesting. Backtesting during these times, it can't hurt. I know it's boring, but it's good to do. Read books, take some time off. Take some time away from the charts. What else can you do? Go and enjoy family life. Go and enjoy. I know that I ain't going to be taking a lot of trades. Personally, I'm working on stuff behind the scenes with the website and creating videos. So, we always have to treat it as a passive income because that's what we want it to be, right? 1 or 2 hours a day where we can do our trading, and then that it's giving you the freedom. I mean, the freedom of doing other things that you enjoy doing. So I've been trading a while, but not consistently. The video I showed you, I realized I'm in love with NAS 100, and usually anyone can see where NAS 100 trend would be going, but the only thing that really matters is having enough for those big pullbacks. So you mean your risk sentiment, Abdullah? I've never traded the NASDAQ. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, do you have I spoke to you a little bit. But why don't we'll just do this now. Why don't we do this now? So do you trade specifically the NASDAQ 100? Is that all you trade? NASDAQ 100 and gold, okay. And do you have specific strategies for each? Do you have a strategy for the NASDAQ, and do you have a strategy for gold? Or do you trade the same way on both of those? I'll just let you type. I'm interested. I'm generally asking, Abdullah. In the same way, price action. Okay. Okay, so but is having enough for those big pullbacks. So do you mean in terms of your margin? Do you mean in terms of your account? So are you risking, do you risk 1%, 2% per trade? So if your stop, because if you're saying enough, what I read that as is if let's say you're selling it in here and you're in a pullback, are you over risking during these times where you're losing your account money, right? If it continues to go up, see what I mean? Or instead of, if you're selling it here, let's say your risk of your 1 or 2% is there, so it wouldn't matter if this pulls back because your stop's up there and you've got your guaranteed risk. Yeah. Again, this is not getting at you, Abdullah. I'm just trying to understand. Yeah. Well, there you go. I thought so, Abdullah. I thought so, my man. Listen, we've all done it. We've all been there. We've all been there. But what I'll tell you, and this is from experience, it will never end well. You know, it will never end well, my friend. Over risking I guarantee you won't be in the market. And again, this is not getting at you because I did it. I'm pretty sure most people here have been trading for a few years, done it as well. You know, we've all done it. We've over risked and we've done that kind of stuff. So you've got to get your risk sentiment or your risk management or your trade management system, your trade management plan in process. So do you know? And this again, I'm just asking you questions. So do you know where you put your stop loss and where you take your profits? Do you have a plan for that? So for me, for example, yeah, you do. So what you're essentially doing is you're putting as much as you can on a trade, but you know your plan. 3-to-1 RR. So you take one trade and you take profits at 3-to-1. Okay. And is your stop tight? So let's say if you're going with trend, I presume you're doing something like this. So is your stop, you know, are you taking it from the breakout? Or are you going from roughly around here? Have you got a tight stop or a larger stop? I mean, trend following is great. Larger stop, okay, that's good. I mean, that's good. A lot of people's problems initially, I think, is having too tight a stop. Certainly newer traders. I'm not saying you're a newer trader. I know you're a bit more experienced. But yeah, I mean, one of the things, and I'll continue to bang on about. It's never something that I had a massive problem. No, I did have what I'm trying to say. Moving my stop loss, I never had a massive problem. That's wrong. But I think one of the things that helps you is writing it down. You know, writing down every time you've lost so much money by over risking and doing that stuff, which you know yourself you're not meant to do, right? You know you're not supposed to do it, but we do it anyway because we have that emotional aspect involved of wanting to make more money, potentially trying to make up for the losses. But yeah, it'll never end well. It'll never end well. You will end up losing your account. But I think you know that. So just get into the habit. Take your 21 trade challenge. How old are you, mate? If you don't mind me asking, how old are you, Abdullah? Younger or older? 22. So you're younger. Okay. Well, so what may be happening is because you are so young, right? You want to make money quickly. You want to have the life that, and again, I was the same. You want to have a life that you see online and, you know, bottle service and nice cars and flashing stuff. You've got to think that if you do the right things, and if that's what you want, remember people's thingies change. The Black Mamba, yeah, the Mamba FX lifestyle, right? You'll never get there by doing what you currently do. And again, I'm just being completely real with you. You'll never get there. But if you do things properly, you've got a specific strategy. You are young enough where in a couple of years' time, right? I'm not going to say it's going to be quick because it ain't going to be quick. But depending on how kind of good your strategy, or travel more, yeah, okay, yeah, that's fine. I'm just giving an example. Whereas if you continue to do, and again, this is the real, if you continue to do it, you won't be in the market. But if you do things right in a couple of years' time, and you're still very young, you know, I'm 33. There's people in here that are older than me. You know, 40s, 50s. We do have someone, Aaron, who's 18, very young. But you're kind of at the stage where, you know, like I said, by your mid to late 20s, you could have everything you want to have. And that's, you know, I don't talk about all the great monetary stuff because I always like to focus on the process. But you're young enough where you can have that, right? And if you do the wrong things now, it won't come. But, you know, in 3-4 years' time, you're going to be 25, 26 anyway, right? You know, just think about that. You can still be in the market and you can be doing the right things and you can be, you know, making a living off your trading, traveling, but you won't do it over risking. There you go. You won't do over risking. Yeah. So just say that to you every single day. Just say, right, I'm going to do this if this is what you really want to do. If you want to go and travel and you want to have that kind of trader lifestyle, not the Mamba FX, but the kind of freedom, you're going to be a couple of years older anyway. You may as well do the right things now. You know, I wish I did the right things and I started when I was 22. I tell you that, I wish I started when I was 22. Or I started doing the right things quicker than I did. So you've got a great opportunity. Yeah, and like I said, if you do the things you do, you'll be out. But you're going to be 25, 26, 27 in a few years anyway. You might as well be at the point where, you know, in terms of, you might as well be at the point where you're a great trader, making a lot of money at that point in time. And I'll leave it as that. But good, great to see you, Abdullah. It's good to have you in the group. And anything I say is not to get at anybody, because I always say the same thing. I've done the mistakes. I've done the stupid stuff. So everything I talk about is through experience. It's the same with Andrew as well. So we know what we're talking about. All right, guys, have a great day. I wish it was a bit exciting, but it's not. I'll be on again tomorrow. Good to be back on Discord. And remember to trade safe, especially you. Thanks, guys. Cheers.